Bienvenue to Le Café Craft. Today we're doing a journal for Vectoria Design with a new kit named Vintage Newspaper. Here we go. So here is the kit. Now this kit has 24 double page full format, which I'm gonna call full size, right? Except you have that little white border all around, but we talk about it. We will address that in a second. There is also 24 double page of a smaller format, which I think is maybe the European format. I don't know, but I'm going to call it the medium size format, which has bigger white border. So that's the same page. They will be printed front and back. Again, to print front and back on most of printers, the way you put it, the way the paper come out of your drawer or your printer, you put it back in your feeder or in your drawer the same way, and then you should print the back of it the right way up. Exactly perfect. I think 99% of printer works like that. Anyhow, this for the paper. I'm printing everything on bold digital. Number one, because it's a high performance printing paper, but number two, because the quality of the paper and the quality of the print on that paper is really good. So that's what I'm using. So this is the full size, this is the medium size, and then there is 12 pages of the small format, but there is 2 double pages, so that still gives you 24 pages of the small format. The small format are printed with, on the back, with a background. I pick one of the background that I printed on a very, very light setting. Let me show you the difference. This is the regular print, and this is the low density, which is like the very pale setting on your printer, and that's the difference. You can see the difference, right? And this is what I printed in the back of the small size. This way you can actually write on the back of the pages without adding pages. I hope I'm clear and everybody got it. Anyway, so that is what I'm gonna call the small size. So here's the small size, medium size, full size. And there's a reason why I'm showing those 3 formats, is the way I'm doing the journal. Because most of you are gonna have that white border here, and as well as here, I am cutting it with edging scissors, and those are called pinking. Is because it's a vintage newspaper, and the old newspaper all had that little dented end of the page, so I wanted to kind of reproduce that. So if you can see on a white piece of paper, I cut every size, every page with those scissors. And those are called, what they say, pinking. And that's what I did with those papers. There is also 20 pages of background. This is one of them. There is plenty background. One is more delicious than the other. I printed some on papers and some on cardstock. The cardstock I use is this cardstock. Okay, it's a Bristol 67 pound, 147 GM. Anyhow, it's a nice cardstock. You don't have to use this one. That's the one I used, so I let you know that. There's also 15 pages of embellishment with, now those are part of the background, but those are pretty interesting because you can do so many things with those, right? Which I don't know what yet, but I'm pretty sure we use them. Now, there is 15 pages of embellishment. I printed some on paper and some on cardstock. Some on paper, some on cardstock. And I also printed some of the background on velum paper, like so. And this is the velum that I use. It just gives the dimension, which is 8.5 by 11, 2159 by 2794. It doesn't say anything, the thickness of it or whatever. I think it's regular vellum paper. It's not extremely thick. It's not extra thin. I think it's regular vellum paper, as far as I can tell. And those are, I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but you know what? I think it's always nice to have some, so I did. And that's what it's all about. So we're just going to gather all our papers and make our journal. So pretty much we got our journal, right? That and I'm sure you will too, divide into 3 signature, so you will have 8 pages, which when they're folded give you 16 pages of journal. Okay, and I also use some coffee dye paper to maybe insert into some of the pages, you know, to add up more pages to the pages, but we'll see into that. The most important things that I want to talk about for that specific journal that we are doing is what I did is in the, hold on, let me find a good example, because I got carried away, I started decorated and things like that. Okay, for the middle, all right, so let me just point out, I did do the little edging thing with the scissors only on the side. I cut the top and bottom straight, right? Now, in the middle of the signature, I wanted to do something different, which is why I said that I also printed some of the medium size journal. And what I did for the middle is I took a full size journal, double page journal. That's going to be the middle of the signature. On the 3 signature, this is how the middle is going to be. So this is the full size. I printed the exact same page because they're identical except it's smaller. We got that, right? Front and back, just like this one, right? So we get the full size. You can pick any which one you like the best, okay? Full size, medium size, and then I also printed the same print then for the full size and medium size in the small size. Now the small size, what I'm doing with it is I'm gonna cut straight now those 2 double pages. I thought that was kind of a little bit different, and there's 3 sizes. It's fun to use every single size there is, right? Might as well, you have a whole kit to play with it. I love to play with those kits. This is so much fun. Okay, we're keeping those because we keep everything. You just never know when you're gonna need them, and they'll be right there. Well, if you remember where you put them. But anyway, all right, so this is what I'm gonna do in the middle. I'm gonna print the same print on the full size, medium size, and small size. On the small size, I'm just gonna cut. There we go. Right now, here, I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna gauge about the middle of it, which is gonna be about here. And I'm gonna do this. We're using this, what is it? 1 inch, 2.54 centimeter. Okay, and I'm gonna make a little, there you go, like this, yes? And I'm gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna measure the middle. Okay, so in inches or in centimeters, right? The middle is the middle. I don't have to worry about that. So about here, I think, kind of. Ah, this is so hard. All right, so now you have this. This is gonna be glued on this. We're gonna glue this side and this bottom part right here. Glue. This is the cutest. I thought that was cute. I kind of like it. But anyway, so in order to know where you're putting your glue, fold. And you're gonna fold just about the same. And you're gonna glue this on that. Yes, yes. Now I'm doing it for demonstration purpose, because I already put my signature together and I already have the little middle insert done. You put your glue all the way in the bottom, on the side. You put a little bit here. You don't have to put too much here because you're gonna sew, because this is the middle of your signature, you're gonna sew right on that. So you are not gonna have to fuss about it. Okay, you put one on top of the other. Kind of line them up, move them a little bit if needed, like so. And then, you know, you edge right here. And what you have in the middle of your signature, a cascade effect of the same print. And I kind of like that. Furthermore, then you can actually put tags in it. Yes, yes. So this is what I'm using for every single center of signature. It does look like this. For this signature, I have the full size, the medium size, and the middle with my two little pockets. Yes, yes. That's signature number 1. Signature number 2, I have the full size, the medium size, and the middle where I have the two pockets. Yes, yes. I like this, don't you think? I mean, it's different anyway, right? And it's like, let's just have fun, 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 fun. And this one, finally, the third signature, I have full size, medium size, and the one in the middle, where same thing, we're gonna be able to insert tags in it. Yes, so those are the 3 signatures. Now, we are gonna assemble the signatures and everything. I strongly suggest, because that's what I did, is like any bulky things that you want to put, which, how am I going to say, are not going to be easy to put in your journal because it's going to be assembled, to do them before we assemble. Okay, so I inserted some coffee dye paper. I put some edging from, you know, some of the background. What else there is going on? I inserted some of the background, which I printed front and back. This one you can write on it. This one is kind of like you can use it to, you know, whatever, decorate or do things with it. See, things like that, it's not easy when your journal is assembled. So the heavy work, I will say, to do it before we assemble. So this is one signature. Second signature, same thing. I think I inserted some, I think this one is missing an envelope. I think I have an envelope somewhere. If you want to insert envelope, you can. I did. That goes with here. So when we're ready to assemble, that we got everything, like the big work is done. Because sometimes when your journal is all assembled, it gets really hard to add things in. Okay, then again, small, medium, and full size. And then I added up some background pages. I added up some coffee dye pages and the other side of the background, some coffee dye, you know, whatever you want to add up as per pages. This is what you do. And then you have 3 signatures. I'm maybe gonna add up some of the vellum pages that I did, but the most important thing now is gonna be to assemble your 3 signatures together. Yes? Yes. Okay, so now we're putting our signature together. And we have 3 of them. In order to do so, we need 3 pieces of cardstock, which are printed with background, front and back, borderless. Because if you use the one print with the little white border all around, you are gonna be too short. So if you didn't find the borderless setting on your printer, what I strongly suggest you do is you use a piece of 8.5 by 11, which is 21.6 by 27.9 centimeters, and just cut some background and paste them on it. Yes, yes. I printed them front and back. Now, We don't want that one. The first thing you do, you need 3 of them. 1, you're not gonna touch. So you just put it away. Yes? Now you got 2 left. With those 2, what you're gonna do is fold them in half. Now that's the best way to find your middle. And on your right hand side, this side right here, this is gonna be the right hand side of your little folder that you're gonna put your signature in. Let me demonstrate. This is your signature, one of them anyway, and it's gonna go like this. Yes, yes. On this side right here, you gotta cut at 4.5. Why? Well, that's a good question, but there's a good reason for that. All right, so first, put myself really good here, straight, and my fold, and then I go 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. That, you know what? I'm just gonna measure it. Let's do it the old-fashioned way. 4.5. 4.5 is 11.5 centimeters. How do I know? I think I looked it up. Okay, 4.5 right here, 4.5 right there, and you cut here and there. Blade. And that's gonna be your right hand. I mean, no matter which side you cut, this is gonna end up being your right hand side of your folder. Yes? Yes. Then you're gonna take either a, what is it? The little round puncher or this that I exclusively use to make notches. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my middle right there. Take the middle of that and you put a little notch in it. Like so. And then because it's a vintage newspaper, of course you're gonna edge, edge, edge. Yes? Yes. So you do 2 of your folder, you do that way. The third one, you leave it the way it is. Now, to put your signature in, because we have to sew the signature inside the folder. First thing, you're gonna round with the small round. I mean, this thing is only a small, medium, and large, so there we go. So I use the small round. This is round, this is round, this is, everybody is round. Okay, yep. We are edging briefly. So, you're gonna have 2 of those. They're gonna be like so, yes? And 1 is gonna be perfectly folded in half. You're gonna edge, you're gonna round the corner, just the same edge, and it'd be like a regular folder. Yes, yes. We need 2 of those and 1 full size, like so. 1 full size, fold in half, round the corner. You have it, right? Okay. You put that on the side. You're also gonna need 2 pieces of cardstock, whatever you want to use. Okay, I used with a background on it because I love the background, so I'm using them. All right, they are gonna be 2 inches wide, 5 centimeter by 8.5, 21 centimeter, and you're gonna fold them in half, like so. You need 2 of those, right? Okay, I'm gonna leave that here so you have the dimension. 2.5 by 8.5. You are gonna need 4 of those little accordion thing. They are gonna be 2 inches wide, 5 centimeter by 4 inches tall, 10.5 centimeters. In order to do those are rounded with the large rounding corner thing. Same with this. To do those, let me get a piece of cardstock somewhere and show you how that goes. All right, to do those, I need something bigger. All right, that's bigger, but it's the same idea. You fold in half, yes, right? You have your little piece of paper. You fold in half, the printed side inside, and then you flip up and you flip up, right? And this is what you have. Yes, this is what you have. Little accordion. Yes, yes, you need 4 of those. And the dimension are right on here. If you want to take a screenshot. All right, so we get this, and we get this, and we get those. We put them on the side. We're not using them right away, but we are gonna need them to assemble the signature with the folder. All right, you take your signature. You're gonna need, I'm pretty sure you saw it, some washi that you don't really care for or whatever. Washi that you have hanging there because this is gonna help. And you're gonna need clippies. You're gonna need wax thread and a needle. I am so ready. Okay, now we open our signature and the first thing we see is the middle of it. Because you remember, we made a little cascade of things. Yes, yes. All right, we take our folder. We're gonna put our signature in it. Yes, yes. And yes, you have one side which is shorter. We know that. Now, take the middle part of the little cascade here. You take all the other pages and you situate them on your folder. So you need a little bit here, a little bit here, and a little bit here. We're not even gonna look at this side because we don't have anything here. Yes? Yes. Does that look okay to you? Looks okay to me. All right. This is gonna be our first clip. We're clipping this. No, we're going on an adventure here. I can tell you that. All right. Now, does it fold in the middle, all of it? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Now, we're taking our smaller page, the medium size, and we put it inside at the fold, right? And we try to have the same here than here. I'm not gonna go in inches and metric for that, okay? You just measure here, measure there, and try, or visually try to put it, okay, kind of the same thing here than the same thing here. Yes, yes. Adjust your clippy. Adjust. All right, so far, so good. Now we need the little guy. The little guy is gonna go in the middle. In order to find the middle, it's gonna be the same thing. You're gonna measure here, and you're gonna measure there, and it's gonna have to be about the same. And I think it ended up being 1 3/4, but let me see, 1 3/4. Okay, not from the bottom of the folder, okay? From your bottom of your page. 1 3/4, 1 3/4. All right? I mean, that's what I have, right? No matter which system of measuring you do, you need the same thing here than here. Yes, yes. Now, I don't have any pinches. We're gonna go all the way here and all the way there, which is why they invented washi tape. So, just gonna washi tape this middle insert like so. Okay, actually only on one side because we're gonna fold it and it's gonna move. Because we're gonna put some clippies on that side too. Okay, you fold again, right? You make sure you're all good on your folder, on the top, on the bottom, and then folding it, you can add a clip here on this side. Now, your clip should be long enough to hold the medium size, but definitely not gonna hold that. So again, you fold it. And when it's folded, you see, if you fold it, it's gonna wobble. There we go. And then you put a little piece of washi here, right? So this is not moving. You check, it is in, you release on that side, okay? And now we are gonna punch. In order to punch, now, you know what, guys, when we paint ourselves in a corner, okay, you cannot do a pamphlet 3-stitch because you're gonna have only this in the middle and this is gonna wobble. We don't want wobbling, all right? So we're gonna do 4 stitches. In order to do 4 stitches, where are you gonna punch the holes? You're gonna punch the hole at 1 inch from the top of your page. You can see good, right? 1 inch, you make a mark. And you're gonna erase it, right? You make a mark. From the bottom here, same thing. 1 inch, you make a mark. And then from that mark right here, you are gonna go 2 inches. And you make a mark, and then from that mark right there that I cannot see anymore, right there, you're gonna go 2 inches right here. Okay? So now you have 4 marks. 1 here, 1 inch from here. Then from here you go 2 inches. From here to here you go 1 inch. And then from here to there you go 2 inches. Now, 1 inch is 2.5 centimeters. 2 inches is 5 centimeters. Yes? Yes. All right. Now, we're punching holes. I know for a fact that I don't punch hole the proper way, but you know what? It works, so I am not changing it. We are punching. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. Now, you have your thread. Okay, you know what? To make sure it doesn't move, pick one hole, poke it, and then this way kind of stabilize the whole thing. Your thread. If you want your bow inside your signature, you start with the inside. If you want it outside of your signature, you start with the outside. Yes, yes. I want it inside. I don't want it to end here. I want it to end here. So I'm going to start right here. Starting. Okay. Now, it's 4 stitch is the easiest thing. Okay. So we're just going to go nice and slow, but it is really easy. All right. I went in and I came out. Pinch the end of your thread. You go back in from the outside right here. You come out at the top. Yes, yes. You go back where you come from, right here. All right, so far, not too hard, right? Pull your thread as it goes. Then you go back in here. Now we're gonna take that out. And now you're right here. Yes, you're gonna go to the last one, right here. And now you are going to come back on this one. Like so. Yes. Now you take this. You make sure it's nice and tight everywhere. If it's not, just pull, 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 pull again. Yes. And now this one is gonna go under here, maybe, like so. Got it? And you make your knot. And you all good. How hard is this? Not at all. Now you can take those little washy thing out. Your pinch is out. And now what happened is that this is nice and strong right in the middle of your signature. Because if you only have one stitch here, it's going to be wobbling all day. And we don't do wobble. We don't. Okay? Now, we secure with another one. And we just done. Yes? And now you have your signature on your folder. And you have your folder, which is cut right here. There's a reason for that, okay? But when we're going to put everything together, you see how that works. Yes? Yes. Like it? I like it. Does it open nice? Yes. And then you have your little cascade in the middle. 1 and 2. Ooh, I like it. All right, so you do the same thing for the second one and the same thing with the third one, except that the third one is going to be full size. Yes, yes. And then we got to assemble the 3 signatures together. Good, good. So now we are going to assemble our signature. We have 3 of them. Yes, yes. 1, 2, and 3. The third signature, the last one, is the one who has a full back and a full front. Second signature has a shorter back and a full front. First signature has a short back and a full front, which means whichever one you want to be in the front, you get to play with those two, right? So you figure out which one you want in the front, this one, that one. I'm picking this one. You check that all your signature are up, up, and down, down, which means we're not putting together upside down signature. And you take your first signature like so, and your second signature like so. You leave this third signature on the side. This is what you have. Signature number 1, signature number 2. You're gonna take those, the one which are 8.5, 21 centimeter by 5 centimeters, 2 inches. You take one of those. They are folded in the middle. You are gonna put them like so in the middle right there, and you're gonna glue this on this and this on that, which means you're gonna put those two signatures together that way. We're doing that. You're gonna need clippies. You're gonna need some patience to let the glue dry. Don't be shy on the glue. Put glue. We need the glue. Okay. You're gonna take your first signature. You check. Up is up. And you apply this on here, like so. Not popping out, just at the edge. Preferably with a little bit on the top here and a little bit on the bottom there. And you clip. And you let it dry. Second signature, you put right on top of this one, so there's no confusion. You take your third signature, and you're gonna do the same thing with this. Yes, yes. Up is up, down is down. We're doing this one. I mean, you can do them once you've seen the whole thing. Maybe you want to start with this one or that one. But, to avoid any confusion and gluing everything the wrong way, it's better to have like a plan of where you're gonna glue, how you're gonna glue it, and all of that, right? So this is the third one. Got a full front. Yes, yes. We're putting this here. Leave a little bit on the top, a little bit in the bottom. See here, right there, you line up with the edge. Don't make the edge pop out, right? Stay on your cover. Yes, yes. You see it, right? And you're just gonna let it dry. Like so. And then keep, your signature in order. This is signature number 1. You glue right there. You have a full front right here. Signature number 2. You have a full front here. You have a partial back right here. There's nothing on this one. And then the last signature, you have a full front and a full back, and you have glued this strip right there. You wait it dry. Okay, so now it's dry. Okay, I got a little bit ahead of the whole thing because I wanted to show you what's gonna happen. So now we did this thing here, right? And then we're gonna glue it on here. Yes, yes. So we are gonna do that, and while this is gonna dry, I'm gonna show you what exactly happened when you do that. All right, so putting glue, because not only we are putting our signature together, all right, so you line them up, go like this, line it up, put it there, make sure it's together, and then you, find it wherever that is. I'm all upside up, am I? Yeah, whew. You have no idea how many times I glue things upside down. Anyway, all right, just gonna put a clip here and a clip there because I want to show you what's gonna happen. So we can all agree we got those two signatures together. Yes, yes. Now, here is the other signature that has been put together. Watch what happened. It had been put together, but we're taking the small cut and putting it on the first page of the following signature. What it does, it gives us room, which is like a big pocket with gusset, where I intend to put little booklet with the little pages. And I'm gonna put one in here, one on this side. I mean, of course, you can put anything else you want in those pockets. You can put a little twirly if you want to, as you know, anything you want, but I chose to put hidden paperclip like so. Yes, and then it gives me another paperclip on the other side where I can put actually anything else that I want. Yes, yes. This way, we do not have any lost space between signature, which is one thing I cannot stand. Not only that, is we're using that space in between signature to make two deep pockets. Yes, yes. In order to do that, once you're done with this right here, which is dry, we're gonna say it's dry, you're gonna take those. You made 4 of them, so of course I got 2 left. And you are gonna glue them on the side like so on both sides. Now, again, in order to glue them properly, they have to talk to you. Yes? So this one is gonna go here, and then this one is gonna go on the other way, but we're gonna swing things around. So let's do this. And it just, okay, first of all, it solves the problem of having a spine, you know, in order to put all your signature together. 2, you don't have an empty space in between your signature. 3, not only we don't have an empty space, but we are using the empty space to make 2 nice, deep pockets. Was so useful in journals, as we know. Okay, you just put it down and you clip. Reverse, talking to you, goes this way. The reason I said talking to you is because I glue so many of those things the wrong way. I mean, one the right way and the other one the wrong way, that, you know, anything you can do. And you just put it almost at the edge, all right? You see, where am I here? Yes, preferably straight. Then you clip it and you're gonna let it dry. And that's it. Let me add another clip here. When it is dry, yes, which is gonna happen very soon, you gotta take your clips off. We're gonna do it together. Put glue on here and there, and then put this on that. Now, let me put this book back the right way because it always get me so nervous. Yes, yes. We're gonna say it's dry. We're gonna say it's dry. Yes. And that's not a hard thing to do, okay? First, you close it, you see, is it perfect? Yes, it is, all right. So here we go again. You're putting glue on the top here. All right, and now you take your small end of the other signature, you pinch in the bottom here, you put it on the top, and then you clip. I mean, there's no if or but. It is gonna line up. If you put it properly, there's not that much room for mistakes at all. This being said. But, you know, it's a pretty forward construction. And here we have it. All right, let me put it again the right way up. Okay, and this way, I'm gonna be able to, where are my little books? I lost them, here we go. I'm gonna be able to do just the same. I'm gonna take 2 other little books, which I have somewhere in here. I'm gonna put one here, inside. Okay, pretty much one here, and I will put a paper clip right here in the middle. Yes? And then you are gonna have your 3 signatures together. All right, and the junction is gonna be those double pockets. I mean, I call them double because putting something, well, I mean, those deep pockets. 1 and 2. And you're together. Just like that. Yes, yes. And then we do the cover. All right, so we're doing the cover for our chunky, wonky journal. In order to do the cover, and because I did so many prototypes, I think I have the measurement almost perfect. Okay, you are gonna need a paper bag, a grocery paper bag, okay? That you are gonna chop the bottom part, yes? And then you end up with that incredible long strip of craft paper. We are gonna need to double it. In order to double it, we're gonna pick anyway. Hey, hold on, let's put it the other way around so we could get the printing inside. We're gonna double it like so, and we are gonna need, because this is our cover, we're gonna need 12.5 by 918. So 12.5, I'm gonna keep a little bit more, so I'm gonna go 13. The reason is I want to be able to cut with those scissors, the pinking scissors. So I need a little bit of room in order to do that. Yes, yes. So I'm gonna go 13 and I'm gonna cut here, and this is gonna be my 13, the width of the journal, and we're gonna need 9/8 for the height. Yes, yes. So first we cut at about 13 or 13.5. 31.8 or 32 or 33. You know, if you're gonna use those scissors, you're gonna need some room in order to be able to, you know, use those scissors at the end. So let me do this. All right. So now the reason why I'm using paper bag is because it's a newspaper. So you know how you fold your newspapers, and so I wanted something which have that newspaper feel. I didn't want a hard cover. All right. So those are the dimensions for the cover. That's what we're working on. All right. Now we are gonna need for the height, in any case, 918. Now, as we know, the top and the bottom is a straight cut, so we don't have to worry about that. We're gonna need exactly 938. So in order to have it straight, just go over, you know, because it doesn't really fold exactly right. So go over, make a straight cut of the 2 layers. Yes. Make a straight cut. I mean, if you have, you know, robust craft paper, you don't have to use a bag. The whole thing with paper bag, grocery paper bags are extremely resistant. And that's why I think they're way more resistant than regular craft paper. All right, so allegedly I have a straight cut here. Yes, yes. Now I need 918. It's gonna be right there. The reason why it's 918 is because 9.25 make it a little bit too big for me, but you can go 9.25. It's just like, I thought it was just a little bit too much. You know, things like that. All right, I'm gonna try to find a line here, be straight here, and then you cut. Okay, press on your ruler and glide with your blade. No matter how many times, it's gonna take you to go over it. All right? So you end up with this. Yes, yes. You are gonna fold it kind of in the middle. Because what you want is 12.5, right? So just keep that in mind. You want 12.5. So 12.5 is here and here. All right, because you want to overlap in order to be able to glue it. Yes, yes. So about 12.5, right? So take about 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right here. All right. Six is 15.3 centimeter. Okay, you score and then you overlap until you have 12.5 overall. I mean, you are going to recut it and make it exactly right, but right now you want to be able to glue it as properly as you can. Okay, so you overlap, and once you reach 12.5, like I do here, then you crease, and then you have your cover. So the thing that you're going to do now is you are going to glue this on this, this on this, this on this. This is gonna overlap like so. Yes, you're gonna adjust 918. This is look good, and you're gonna cover it anyway, right? But you need to have a double thickness to it, okay? And when it's all glued up properly, you take your scissors and you crimp both sides of your bag, and then this is your cover right there. This is what you have, which is this is what you have, right? So you doubled it, you edge it. You don't have to. If you want to do straight, you do straight, and that is your cover, and that is strong, but it's like a newspaper. It's soft, right? We are going to cover this with some background. Pick your background. I pick my background, and I am going to cover it with this background. Okay, so you're going to cover the inside. But hold on, we're not done. But the first step is to cover it. Then you are going to need 2 pieces of craft cardstock, which are going to be 10 1/4 by 4 inches, round on all sides, which is 26 centimeter by 10.2 centimeters. Round them on all sides. You are going to score at a 1/2 inch. One end is going to be scored at a 1/2 inch, which is 1.3 centimeter. Those are going to go like so. Like this, almost to the end, but not to the end. Yes, hold on, it's the other way around. This is the inside of your cover. This you score at a 1/2 inch, 1.3 centimeter. You put it over the end, like so. You flip it. Now, because we don't want to have any tension, or it is going to be too big, or whatever the circumstances are, then you are going to fold right on this edge. And the reason I said 10 1/4 is because, as you will find out, when you can measure all day, sometimes it's not going to be exactly right. So you make sure you have at least a 1/2 inch return on both sides, right? And you score like really good, like so. You do the same thing for the other side. You already scored a 1/2 inch, right? It's gonna go over here, like so. And you're gonna flip it almost to the end, but not to the end, because you wanna keep those little things going. And then you are gonna fold it. So just in case you're a little bit more than 918 or a little bit less or whatever, you have enough on both ends to do your return properly, which means enough to return on both ends. And it should look like this on both sides. Okay, so first you are gonna, whatever you want to put here, whichever background you want to use, you're just going to glue on here. Yes, yes. You are going to find another background or the same background and then put it on here. and here. Eventually, what you could do, and I thought it would be nice, but I'm gonna put the paper first, is put a little, either a round thing, you know, a round notch here, or one of those. Yes, just like right there in the middle, because that would be the inside of your journal. And maybe, you know, you want to have a little something here on both sides. Yes, yes. So pretty much to resume, you take a paper bag, any paper bag, but grocery paper bag are extremely strong, so I recommend that. You have to double it. Somehow you have to double it. Okay, keep in mind the dimension, the ultimate dimension that you need, which are gonna be 12.5 by 918. That's what you wanna do. That's gonna be your cover. Then you're gonna need those two things. And then your cover is going to be just decoration. We're just going to make it pretty, okay? So glue your background here, whichever one you want to use. Glue some background here, whichever one you want to use, okay? And then we resume for the front cover. So I'll show you what I did, but you can actually pick any background you want, okay? Okay, see you then. Okay, so now this is what you end up with. The inside of your cover is covered, and you have your two sides, yes, and they are covered. We are gonna glue this on this on that, and we are gonna clip it. Yes, yes, gluing. All right, so you putting the glue inside. We're gonna avoid any traces of glue here, because we sure don't want that to glue, okay? And then you're gonna put a line of glue on the outside. Now, if anybody is finishing the project with a sewing machine, you can totally sew it as well, of course. So here and here, turn around, and clip. I wouldn't sew it before being finished with the front cover, but, you know, eventually to finish it, right? And you do the same thing here. And you're gonna let it dry. Next step, borrow a little bit of those guys for here. Like so. Okay, and then you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Okay, you don't, of course you do whatever you want, but don't glue it all the way to the end, all right? Leave a little bit here, all right? And this is gonna be the inside of your cover right here. And then we do the outside of the cover. Yes, yes. Okay, so it's all dry, and you have your two sides right here, and this is your cover for the front. For the front, this is what I'm doing. Okay, I've been inspired by this specific background. Why? Well, because it had that folder cut right there, and I don't know, I just got into that folder and papers inside. I don't know, I got inspired, all right? For example, in my journal, I'm gonna find it, maybe gonna find it right here, right? Because I love that little folder shape. So what I did is I printed it on cardstock, right? And I just cut a folder shape on them to use them as I don't know, it just, I got like a special thing for that specific background. Don't ask, you know, this is what happened to me. I got a kit, I look at it, I'll just fall in love with this piece, that piece, the other piece. Anyway, so hold on, let me put all those little guys back. All right, so I was really into that folder thing. So I decided I would put part of the folder here, but then I wanted to put something in the middle like so. This is the idea. I will do a folder shape, right? And then I will put an eyelet here, an eyelet here, and then I will be able to tie my newspaper together. Yes, yes. So I printed this background on cardstock, and this is what I got. You see, and I'm gonna put it right there in the middle. So in order to do that specific piece, right, it's right here. It is 5, the widest part is 5 3/4, which is 14.5 centimeter by 9 inches, which is about 23 centimeters. And in order to have your notch, which means on both sides, the eyelet is going to be on the same height, right? I did it at 11 centimeter down, which is 4 1/4 down, okay? And I used this, right? I just took my piece of cardstock, put a notch here, put a notch over there, and then from the notch, cut this way up and this way down. Yes, yes. So that's going to be what is going to go in the middle of my cover. On both sides, okay, on this side, I'm going to put this because I wanted to play with the visual. So it's going to be like this. I mean, you can cover it whichever background you want, but that's pretty much. And you can do this in any background that you want as well, all right? If it's just, I just wanted to have fun with it. And here is going to be the other side, like so. And this is going to be my cover, okay? So I'm just going to have to glue this, glue that, glue this. When you're going to glue this, you do not glue this spot right here because that's where your eyelet is going to be. So you do not glue this spot right there, okay? I'm going to start gluing and then I'm going to come back when I glue this spot. Yes, yes. Okay, so I glued this side, that side. Now, here I put my eyelet on both sides, okay? The little thing I forgot to tell you, is right here in the middle of this, right? Now, don't forget, your middle of this is gonna be the middle of the widest width, okay? Which is gonna be, in this specific case, 7.3 centimeters, and in inches, 2 7/8, okay? It's not gonna be this middle, because this middle is not the same that middle. Yes, yes, okay? So you get to take the middle of your widest width, okay? And that's the middle, which is gonna be your middle right here. Now, you are gonna score every single score line on your scoreboard for about 1.5 inch, right? You're gonna score. You can see it, right? Score. Yes, yes. Okay, so you're gonna take the middle of this. So now it doesn't matter if you're in centimeter or in inches. The middle is gonna be the middle. Yes, the middle of this on your widest width. Yes. You're gonna match them like so, and what you're gonna do is you are gonna glue them about here, right here. Yes, so I'm gonna put the glue everywhere except on this spot right here. Yes, actually I'm gonna try to leave, like, you know, I mean, let's do it and then we see where it goes. Yes, yes. Now make sure you put glue, okay? Because it's gonna kind of be like, quote unquote, your spine. Yes. But you see, I'm not gonna go all the way out, right? Because I wanna keep it like it is a folder. Even though it's not, but it looks like one. Yes? Line up your middle with your middle. Should be good, should be good, should be good, good. And press. Now, if you don't like to do spines, if you don't like to do chipboard, if you don't like whatever, you know, that whole part of the journal which gives everybody butterflies because God forbid something bad happen, right? This is such a good little system. The paper bag thing, and this system is even better because what we are gonna do is we're gonna take our journal, yes, that you're going to make as chunky as possible. Yes, because that's what we all do. And you're going to insert it in your cover. And here is your cover. Yes, yes. Now, the good thing about this cover is you can make your journal as chunky as you want. You're always going to be able to close it. I'm going to put a string here, and then we do a flip through. How about that? I can't wait to show it to you all. All right, so here is the flip through of the journal made for Vectoria Design with the new kit vintage newspaper, and it is all newspapery. So I strongly suggest you watch the tutorial so you will know how everything got done, but that would be my pleasure to show you what's inside. So to start with, this is the front cover and the back cover, and if you watch the tutorial, we know exactly how we made it. And we open it. This is one of the little tags. So the first page here is, okay, first of all, this journal is inserted inside the cover. Okay, that's how the whole system works. So first page, I put from an old newspaper that I had, I put a big envelope and I put all the words that are in the embellishment. So this way I have my little word bank right here in the front. Everything is from the embellishment or the backgrounds or the pages itself. If it's something outside of that, I will mention it, but everything you see is 99% from the embellishment. And there is so many of them. So that is from the embellishment. So there is some places that you can actually write, not that many, but you know, I tried, I hold on. There were so many things I wanted to put everywhere. Okay, here, this is from the embellishment with the little stampy thing here. This is a little side tuck right here. A little belly band right over here. That's from the embellishment. Those are the background. This is a background page. This is also a background page. This is a pocket right here. I mean, like a side tuck. That's in the embellishment, so I added up a little paper clip and put one more. Those are from backgrounds. There is also those two backgrounds which give you so many cards that you can use. I mean, I wanted to mention that because I use a lot of them. This is a background print that I made on velum. Confidential, that's why. So you cannot see what's in there. I kind of play with whatever was on the page and try to put it on, you know, here or there. Now, the middle of each signature has what I call a cascade. Oh, I don't even know if it's the proper word for that, but pretty much is one page, which is the full-size journal page, one medium page, which is the smaller journal page, and the mini journal page, because I wanted to do a little cascade of, you know, I just made myself happy. This is number one because this is the first signature. Added up here a little tuck, and inside here you have the tags which kind of match, you know, whatever is in the front, and this you can write on it. I put multiple tags, and this is another tag. So I have like a repetition of the design. This is one of the background that I kind of cut because obviously it's shorter. It is the picture shows that it is tied up with some little cord. So I added up some, you know, little stringy thing here. Those are journaling card, and they come from the mini journal because I think they're a really good format for cards. Those are embellishment. This is one of the background. That is also a background. This is another piece of vellum with a background print on it. There's some coffee dye paper that I edged with some background papers. I had so much fun. So that's what I meant. You know, I took in the embellishment. I kind of tried to mirror the other page. I wanted to have fun. I mean, it's a wonderful kit. There's so many things in it that, you know, you just want to play with everything. This is also, see, this is part of the embellishment. I put some coffee dye with some pieces of embellishment. This is a side pocket. I put, those are also from the mini journal that I printed on cardstock and made a journaling card with. Why not? Yes, yes. That's also the same little 2 books that I used to make almost like a library card holder. Why not? This is also, that is in the embellishment. That is part of that background I was showing you. That's a little, this is also in the embellishment that I made a little, you know, secret note things. Now, here is the end of the first signature. Now, in this end of the first signature, there's a hidden paperclip. And then inside, you have the little journals. I made mini little journals, and they go in those pockets. I make this one. Altogether, I made, I think, 4 of them. Go like so. And then I use my paper clip. And here they are. Now, this is the second signature, but you wouldn't know because you just cannot see it. Ha! I love that system. This is a little ticket with a little bit of coffee dye, so you can write thing. This, I love this background. It has a folder on it. I play so much with that. I'll show you there's another part in the journal. This is part of the background. That is a background as well. That is a background printed on vellum, so you will know what's written in here. Those are all embellishment from the kit. See, this is to call this out. I put it also here. These, I had fun. I'm sorry, I had fun. So those are little glasses that I put. I had to have fun, okay? This is a great kit. I mean, there's so many elements to it. And if you start playing with everything there is, which is all the background and the different embellishment and the mini journal to make cards, I mean, you can do so many things. That's a little journaling card. That's a little pocket, and that is part of the embellishment. I had to, this is another one of those cascade. So this is the 1 page, the medium page, and the small page. I wanted to do something special for the middle. And this has a number 2 for second signature. It has the tags in it because they act as little pockets. Like so. That's also part of the embellishment with little tickets and stamps and all kind of little goodies. Now, this is an envelope which I closed up and put a slit in the middle, and inside it, I had that little folder which was part of the embellishment, and I made it as a little journal inside a journal. Why not? So this is all together with a little paper clip, and I inserted it in here like so. This is one of the background. This one is the same thing. This is one of the embellishment. This is again that background with the 2 books that I wanted to match the glasses on this side. That's a little envelope. This is part of the embellishment. That is one of those cards that I picked from those backgrounds. I think, yes, this is this one here. I had so much fun. I did so much fussy cutting and playing around, and everything changed spot so many times. That's a little side pocket that I made a little bit bigger by shadowing it with more paper. And that's still gold thread because this one was gold too. You know, fun is fun, right? Now here, I use one of the background that I folded over the page and then put partition in the middle. So that gave me, and those are the cards from the other background. I couldn't have enough of those backgrounds. You see those backgrounds? So I did all kind of journaling card with those. So you have 2 in each of the pockets, and the same thing on the other side. I mean, you have an entire kit. Might as well using it all. I didn't using it. I mean, I could have, but I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be able to actually close that journal. That's one of the frame that this in that background that I cut the middle and put some vellum from another background. I'm telling you, the fun was going on. There was no end to it. That's a vellum. It comes out so good, right? Those background printed on vellum. I think it looks fantastic. What I did is I folded 1 inch. I didn't want to sew it because vellum is very hard to sew. So I fold a 1/2 inch and then I just glued it on the page. I mean, you can barely see it, I think, right? That's how this happened to be here. Same thing here. I call this guy's in the embellishment, so I call him right here. Now I have 2 pages of the little journal that you can write on. 1 and 2. Now this had been one of my favorite out of all the background because it has a folder on it. This background, you see there's a folder on it with newspapers, pieces of papers in it. I don't know why. I really have a fixation on that thing. So I just couldn't help myself. Anyway, so I made little folders here with that background. That's how it happened. And I think it looks pretty cool. And on top of it, you can stash all kind of whatever you want in there. And it says hidden. And here, what does it say? Secret. See, all that is also in your bank of embellishment. This is the end of the second signature. There's another hidden paperclip with 2 handsome men on both sides. And I have 2 little journal again that you can write on. 1 and 2. And there's even a little pocket here. Oh, it should be something here because it says idea. Well, when I have an idea, I put it in here. So those are those little mini journal that ended up being in here. And then you close it with your paper clip, like so. There we go. And of course, this guy is on the other side. And that is the third signature. This is your pocket, same thing. I kind of double it so it makes it a little bit deeper. I know I put some writing space under those little tickets right here. And this is the same. I use some, yes, that's embellishment. That's part of the background or journal pages that, you know, all the misprint that you, if you guys have misprint, keep them. You can use them in so many things. That's from an old newspaper. That is from an old newspaper. I think there is like 2 or 3 places that I put that. That's also from the side of background. This one as well. This is a belly band. That's from an old newspaper. It's got information. I think it's about the weather. If you want to know, you know, what the weather is going to be. See, this is part of the embellishment to match this right here. Okay, this is the third cascade. So here's that pretty lady. And again, and again. And it says 3 because this is the third signature. It does have the tags in it. This one has a little magnifier. This one's got a little kind of a label thing. I just like it. I don't know. I just like the repetition. I just had fun. That's all there is to it. I just had fun. See, but there's plenty places then you can actually write. Here, it's a pocket made with the, also the printed vellum. And I also put a whole bunch of the words that you can use. And I put them as another little word bank. If you're going to write and then you find a word that you want to use, you can go in here. That's a little loose ticket. That's a little pocket. That's from the embellishment. That's little embellishment as well. That I put a little nib right here, a little number right here. This is a background. This is another background. This is part of a background. I mean, there's so many things you can do. This is part of background. This is top secret. And we're almost reaching the end. So that's another. Okay, those are the leftover from the vellum. They are on both sides. And they hold with another hidden paper clip that I made with, those two ladies right here and right here. So I thought that was fun, and I thought they look so good. So just in case I want to use it later on, I put them in there. Like so. And this is a little folio as well. That is in the embellishment. So what I usually do is I made a copy of it and then reverse it and make another one. So it's act like a divider. And then I have this little bunch of, same thing. I added up little paper clip and added to the collection of whatever was already on that. All right. And this is the last page, and that's part of the embellishment. Now, of course, you have room here that if you want to put some papers in or envelopes or whatever else you want to play with on both sides, which is why there's nothing on the inside of the actual cover of the journal, because you have to insert it in. And cover again, so I play with that folder theme that I really like so much. And that's what it is. It's a vintage newspaper journal. I had a lot of fun making it. It is a wonderful kit. There is so many elements to play with that I love it. I just loved it. I had a great time.